Hi, welcome to Life Skills with Louie. I'm Louie. Today we are talking about skills for connection. This is within the Learning to Love section of this video series. If you haven't watched the introduction to the relationship priorities and all the skills of relationship, that's a good one to watch to see where this fits. I'll mention it here too. And if you haven't watched the introduction to Learning to Love, this entire part of the series, that will be helpful to understand this skill. And finally, if you haven't watched the introduction to the entire video series, that helps you know where all 5 sections fit in the practice of these life skills. So to dive right in, as I talked about in the intro, there are a number of sets of skills we're going to be learning that have to do with this interpersonal effectiveness. This all comes from DBT, Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, which I love. Shout out to Marsha Linehan and her team. So we have talked about attachment in a video or two. We've talked about self-respect. And now we're talking about relationship effectiveness or connection, how to deepen connection. And the acronym here, which I'll go through in a minute, is GIVER. So, in some ways, love is a mystery. The depth of it is a total mystery, and the way that it brings things up in life and the way we can grow from it and how it simply appears. There is an aspect of mystery to love, and certain parts of social connection are not a mystery. And it's a bit of a tragedy that people aren't aware of these skills so that they can consciously choose to build connection and understand why sometimes connection is fraying. So I'm going to dive right in. As I said, the acronym here is GIVER. The acronym for all of them is become a fast giver and a dear human. And there's in the intro video, I'm singing a little tune around it if you want to watch. To state first what the skills are, and then I'm going to go through each one of them. Gentleness, interest in others, validation, being easy-mannered or lighthearted, and being respectful. And I'm going to go through each of these in this video, and then the interest in others and validation are going to have their own videos because there's some more depth that I need to explain about these. The gentleness and the easy-mannered don't have their own videos, but I'll state right now, easy to say, hard to do. These skills both require you to have learned a lot of the other skills from the other sections, getting to great, connecting to clear, connecting to calm, the being beyond. To really live in a place of gentleness and easy-mannered lightheartedness, you have to take care of yourself really well. So I always emphasize to people, it's good to share and tell people, yeah, gentleness and easy-mannered lightheartedness, this is what humans are attracted to, but it doesn't make it easy to live there. So it takes some serious work, and I'm still working on it every day and will be till the end. So to talk about each of these, gentleness. Gentleness is about a nonviolent approach. So avoiding attacking, demanding, making ultimatums, using force, using willfulness, which comes from the connecting to calm section if you want to check that out. So when we are scared, when you're in a reactive place, we tend to go to our will and try to force something, push something. And when people feel pushed, it jars them. It doesn't, some people end up getting into unhealthy dynamics and they kind of lock onto that, but it doesn't build open, soft connection. Gentleness does. And just to state again, in order to really live gentleness, it requires a level of self-care that may take some work. If you've come from a place where no one taught you and you were harmed significantly. Interest in others. People like people to be interested in them. I like people to be interested in me. I am sure if you're feeling comfortable and safe, you like people to be interested in you. There are skills that can help this. And so we will talk about mindfulness of others and open, honest questions in a separate video in order to really give some ideas about how you might practice developing more interest in others, because it's quite fascinating when you go into these skills and you start to really see others in this way that's detached and non-reactive. People become fascinating. So developing interest in others and then shining that light on people just lights them up. Wow, this person's actually just interested in me with no agenda. And people are drawn to you. Validation. This is a tool and a practice. I teach it. I use it. I learned it in dialectical behavioral therapy. It changed my life, changed my professional life, and I just love teaching it to people so that they can use it. People don't quite understand that validating people's emotions, and that's what you validate really, is people's emotions. It feels so good for your emotions to be seen and in some way normalized. Like, yeah, it's okay you feel that. That makes sense you feel that. And when you genuinely are in that vibe, people love it. And I love it when people do it for me. And I want everyone in the world to know about validation and to be able to practice it. It's like, such a useful skill. And it draws people to you. So, validation. We're going to have a video that goes through all the details of that. Easy mannered. I think a nice word for this one, which DBT talks about, lightheartedness. Fear makes things serious, and there are moments when things are serious. And even in the serious moments, keeping a glimmer and a little bit of lightheartedness, a little bit of playfulness, people like that, and it just makes it easier to bear the challenges of life. But to state again, finding that lightheartedness, I mean, it's the work of all of these skills, but you'll need to, if you think you can just jump to this and all these skills, especially the gentleness and easy manner, without checking out the getting to great skills and working on that type of stuff with your therapists and friends and mentors, you're mistaken. You must practice those other skills, from getting to great, connecting to clear, connecting to calm, being beyond, in order to live a lighthearted life. And finally, I added this on. Full disclosure, this was not in DBT. DBT was give skills, but I added on giver to become a fast giver, because I thought respectfulness needed to get its due. Respect has eroded. I actually think, if I'm speaking currently, it's because of the widening gap between the rich and those who have more and those who have less. The fairness. We talked about self-respect, effectiveness, and fairness. Fairness is at a huge low, and so anger is at a huge high. So respect is really, really down. But honestly, in my perspective, everyone deserves respect. Even people who have harmed in any way, they still deserve respect, simply because they could harm again and they could harm you. So there's a basic human respect that people think that sort of being snide and derogatory and calling names, even when someone's called you names, that it does something. And I don't think it does. It only stirs the pot more. Having a sense of respect for the reality that this is a human in front of you, even if they are doing bad things, they are a human. They have a reason for that. They have the capacity to do harm, so they deserve respect, if only for that reason, as an enemy, that you treat them with respect because they could harm you, and so you have to think about them clearly. The loss of respect has caused great harm to us, and so we need to relearn that ability to respect everyone of every station as a human being, and possibly a splinter of the divine. So, there's an infinite amount that could be said about that, but this is just pointing in a direction for you to do more inner work. Respectful. So if you practice these skills and you get good at them, you will find people will be drawn to you. 100% money back guarantee. This is me putting a stamp on the air. So practice these. And I hope this is helpful, and thank you for watching.